Alright guys, day one of practice here in Okeechobee, and haven't been here in a long time. Probably haven't been here 7 years. Back when I used to come here with my dad. It used to be a winter vacation spot for us every single year, and I'm so excited to be back. It doesn't look anything like I used to, but I'm really excited to break down Okeechobee again and just use some of the things I learned back in the day and implement them this week. And right now, I did a lot of Google Earth research. I went back. One thing, the most important thing there is here is Google Earth. Whether it be using super recent images, like you can go on certain apps and get images from last week, and seeing where the new ponds are at, and marking those in your graphs, and finding where all the new stuff is at. Because looking at years past, it's useless here in ways. And I'll get around to that in a minute. So we've been using recent imagery. We got a lot of little ponds, a lot of little. You can almost see like highways for these fish. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm getting on these little places found on Google Earth, using my side scan, using my sonar, trying to find where the little bit deeper holes are, so we can be prepared. Let's say if the water starts falling and they want to suck into the little 2-foot pond instead of a 1.5-foot area. And also we're just scanning around these reed clumps and these buggy whips and stuff like that. Just seeing if we can see some bluegill beds, some tilapia beds, just some kind of life. Because anytime you find either tilapia, bluegill, there's going to be bass around because it's just an ecosystem there. So that's what we're going to do for a little while. We're just look around at some of these places I looked on Google Earth and see if we can find these little special areas, clear water, maybe some underwater grass. Find a good area with some bluegill beds, tilapia beds, just somewhere where it's kind of going down. And did a lot of research. The water's falling. We got a little bit lower water level. Not anything like it used to be back in the day. It used to be 11.5 foot was like the best water level, but now it's been so long since we had that. And this is the new low. Like, people are starting to tear lower units off. What I did, I went way back in Google Earth images to like probably 10-15 years ago when the water level was almost the same as it was now, if not lower, and see where the ponds are at then. See where the ponds are at, see where funny thing is, if you go on Google Earth and you zoom in, you can actually see boat trails. So you can see where a lot of the boats were congregating and spending a lot of their time just by looking at the little runs and trolling motor cuts in a lot of these areas. And you got to use little things like that. I'm not the best Florida angler in the world. I've had some success. I've had a lot of bad tournaments, like last week at St. John's. But just trying to provide yourself with as much information as you can. Google Earth, mapping, just research, anything like that is a huge deal. So that's what we're doing right now. We're just kind of easing around these cattails. Right now, I just fell into a little hole. The bottom looks a little harder, and I actually just saw 2 beds on side scan. So I'm going to mark that. It's almost 2.5 foot. Here's the deepest I've seen so far. And I really like that. So we're gonna mark that as 2-foot hole. Heck, if I need to put my boat on plane or something, that's important. You don't want to tear your motor off. It's pretty dangerous this week. I've actually seen some rock scattered around these cattails that I'm around. It just actually fell off in the 2.5-3 foot on that reed clump right there, and got some good thicker cover in that clump. So we're definitely getting around some of the right stuff now. This is one of the old ponds from back in, I think, 2010. There was a big pond here, and there was no hydrilla, so I don't know if that was from boats fishing it so much it killed the hydrilla, or if it was rock, it wasn't letting it grow as good. But this is definitely was a hot spot back in 2010, and almost every year I strolled through, there was definitely some sort of a hole here. So I like this little spot. We're probably going to start fishing here, pick up the new jackpot jig I designed. We're probably going to be winging that around with some chomp on these trailers, the crawl hog, and just pitching that around, just cover some water, kind of get an idea of what's going on. But this is a big main funnel. We got a big point over here. We got a lot of just kind of dead bank over here, and it's a big funnel going into probably 1, 2, 3, 4 ponds. And this is where like probably the deepest hole out in front of them is. So they can spawn here, they can stage here, and it's just a good highway, and I really like it. So super excited this week. I love breaking down bodies of water like this and putting the pan objects away, and we're gonna get to work and just some old school fishing. Super excited. This is gonna be a fun one. We've got some bad weather today. I don't know how it's gonna go today, but we're definitely gonna have some awesome consistent weather patterns, which is key for Florida this time of year around the spawn. You want those multiple 70-degree days building up in a row, and that just helps so much when you got just consistent weather. So let's get started. We're gonna hopefully get some really good camera footage. Hopefully I can throw some good tips in there. I'm not no Okeechobee expert, but I just want to show y'all guys what I do. It might not be right, and I want y'all guys to leave down in the comments, ways that you break down lakes. And I'm wrong all the time, and I'm super excited to get out here, just get some things going, and this is gonna be a fun week. Some super power fishing, gonna be frog, swim jigs, and just big flipping sticks. So this is gonna be a fun one. Let's get it started. Start flipping around right now. I just got thumped. Rolling right back into it. Come on. No way. Mm-mm. Oh my gosh. I'm around him. He just slammed the lid and like 8 boils just went off. That was sick. Oh, I just found him, I think. I see beds. Dude, I flipped it and went, boom, and he had it swam like 6 foot before I could even swing. Because you're catching bucks here don't mean much. Yeah, I can't see my bait. I see it one cast and I don't see the next. So, I got one now. Caught a 2-pounder. Like second flip in here. Yep. Got me a little buck. But just got in the right area. Watercolor's a little cleaner. Seen a lot of beds. And yeah. For it blowing this hard, this is a pretty good little sign, so glad we stuck with it. There's no way, we haven't done anything. Oh my gosh, that fish is sitting on a bed. There's a giant, I'm catching the one with her. If I can. There's just a giant just sitting on bed. I can see her in perspective. Up in the middle of the pads. There's a dot that looks like a freaking unit sitting exactly where that bass came from. All right, I'm gonna catch this one if I can. Screw it. I'm gonna try the perspective of me a bass. Did I belly hook that? No, I got him in the mouth. definitely have a few bucks swimming around in here. I like how isolated everything is in here. There's not much, I mean, some good and bad. I mean, people are going to find it, so isolated stuff is tougher to do good in a tournament, but I like how quick it can be. So, I don't know. There's not much of it, it's the only problem. It's just all isolated little clumps of areas, and I've had a bite on both sections, so. And I haven't even picked apart this at all yet. And the last one was another really big one on bed near that buck, so I don't know if they're paired up yet, or so. Not quite sure. But, good sign. Got around depth, got around clear water, and picked up 2 bites pretty quickly, so not bad. Pretty happy about it. So.
If I could shake off a few more here, I'll still think about it. Look. All I know is that's coming our way.
I mean, our first day out here was probably the worst weather day of all time. Could have made it to South Bay. Easy.
We'll be in about 5 minutes. Oh, right here. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's coming out right now. Feel it? Alright, cool. Alright, so put in at South Bay this morning. You know, we had a southeast wind today. I thought it would blow some clean water out. I know we had a pretty bad wind for today out the north. But I really thought, you know, we could find some clear water with it blowing the right direction yesterday. We got to a lot of the ponds and areas that I really wanted to hit. I fell on Google Earth and wasn't very good, wasn't very productive, but it is what it is. But so now we're making a little bit of a game time change, and we're gonna run to the northern end of the lake to a real protected area. It's probably the most protected area. I mean, with a south wind, it can get blown good water to it. North wind, it gets blown clean water blown out of it, and it makes it all clean. So it's really only susceptible to like an east wind, which is, we had an east wind yesterday, but there really isn't anywhere on the lake that hasn't had real bad wind. I mean, we had south a few days ago, and then that cold front was just north winds the entire time. So really none of the lake is truly clean, it seems like. There's little areas that are not as dirty. We shook some fish off in and, you know, had some bites, but really hasn't been like the 35-pound bags this place has been putting out when time's right. So, you know, we're just gonna keep moving around, you know, see if we can figure out something, because they're here. It's just hard to find that right water. I mean, it's the biggest natural lake I think in the country. or I know it's the biggest in the southeast, of course. I mean, I don't know if the Great Lakes really count, but it's huge. So it's a lot of water to try to cover in 3 days, and a lot of changing conditions. I mean, the wind switched 4 times in 2 days because it blew out the west with the storm, and then it switched to blowing out the east when the storm passed us, and it blew back into us, and then it blew out the north while we were at St. John's, and now it's blowing out south, and then it's going to blow back out the north. So trying to put the puzzle pieces together on figuring out where this clean water is going to be coming from. And also one thing I'm going to try to keep in mind is the clean water coming out of Kissimmee. A lot of rain, clean water coming out of there, getting blown down. It could make those banks a little cleaner, having some fresh water. So keep a lot of that in mind. Try to make as good decisions as we can, and just run into, I mean, all it takes is a 100-yard stretch, fish the whole tournament out of. Because when they pull up, they pull up. So we'll see. But that's Trey calling me. So I'm going to hop on the phone with him and try to get our game plan together for what we're going to be doing. So. We're around them for sure. This is going to be a frog week for sure. I can feel it. It's going to be a frog and outcast tackle swim jig kind of week. Those two baits, covering water, finding out where the new fresh groups have pulled in, that's going to be the deal. Just caught one. Little buck. No, I just caught one. Little buck. Everywhere right here where I'm at. Now we just got to figure out how we're going to outfish them. We got to figure out, is the next wave going to be deep? Is the next wave going to pull up on the bank, catch them on a frog? I agree. I'm going to swim jig just to make sure if there's one there, he eats. You know what I'm saying? Taking my time, and then flip a Cinco for the biggins and reeds. Dude. Screw a freaking canal. I would rather die out here doing something, improving my game, than go cut it. Oh my God. I just got waked on by a giant, whatever it was. Yeah. I went all the way to the end of where I think it goes down at. Mm-hmm. Yep, all little points, humps, and islands and stuff. Dude, I know how to catch. Oh yeah, they're gonna bite today. You get around and they'll bite. I've already had 2 bites, and I just got here 5 seconds ago. So. Dude, there's gar everywhere. Oh my goodness, look at them all. Here it comes. The second time he flew up on it, I didn't get it. Huh? Well, there's not many places that really... Oh my gosh, dude, that gator is huge. It's like a 10-foot gator. Can you see him? Dude, that gator is large. He's getting covered up in mud. You see him? Did you see him?
No.
What?
I can't see through the water at all.
Yeah, you're blind. Watch this. I'm about to scare the absolute hell out of him, and he's gonna... Just don't crap yourself. Because when he comes out of here, he's gonna come out of here like a bullet. Why is he not moving? This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Dude, he thinks he's hit. Oh, there. I think he just went that way. Oh, yeah, he did. Trying to chase him. Come here. Look at him boiling. I'm chasing him. Dude, he is hauling. How fast are these gators? Look at him. See him? You should be able to see him there.
Now I see it.
Look how big that sucker is.
Yeah.
Dude, the thing is huge. How big is that?
Why don't you put the swim jig on?
Oh, I mean, jeez.
Okay.
I've never seen a gator this time. I would have already killed you like 4 times. There you go. Dude. Please tell me you're getting that. I don't think I've ever seen a gator that close up before. Ever. That is so eerie, it's not even funny. How big do you think that was?
He had to be 9-10 foot. He's pretty big.
I can't tell if he's stupid or really smart.
His head was like...
Dude, I've never seen one. Maybe it's because I've never seen one that up close and personal.
Look at him eating a crappie. Big old crappie.
I'm really not throwing a rattle trap here. Everywhere I'm fishing is like a foot deep, so I'll snatch all the line off of this. I don't need it, plus it's old line anyways, so I'm gonna rig it up with some 50-pound braid. I'm gonna put me the jackpot jig on it, and then we're gonna cover a bunch of water today, trying to find a little bit clear water, find some bucks to see where the next wave could be pulling in to spawn. And so what we're gonna do for a little while. I think I found the right section of the lake where water temp's a little warmer, water's a little clearer. Found an area with a good congregation of bass, so pretty happy about that. That was pretty cool. I probably had 10 plus bites in a very short little stretch. So no big ones. I had a 3, shook off like a 3 and a 3.5, and probably a 2.5 and a 3.5 that I know were good ones. So there are some good ones around, probably just big bucks, but I know there's females pulling up. New moon's coming, warm weather's coming. A lot of fish are going to be doing some different stuff these next few days, and you just gotta, just because you're not catching big ones now, don't mean it ain't gonna happen the next day, because these fish move so fast here, it's unreal. Like, they move overnight. Like, this is one of the only places ever, really Florida in general, they'll move overnight. I guess it's so, other places, you know, you kind of watch the water temp gradually change. Here is 68, is like about as cold as I really see it much, you know, consistently. So whenever you have 68 and it jumps to 73, 5 degrees, every fish in the lake's going to try to pull up to where other lakes, you know, you can kind of see it coming. You got 45, 55, 65, and then everyone's up there. Here, it doesn't take that. Just one good warm front after a cold snap, and they're there. Like, it doesn't take much. So fish move fast. Makes it really hard to actually truly find them is the hard part, because they move so fast that you know, they could pull up in the tournament and you never really got a clue. So that's why you got to pay attention to small bites just as much as big bites, it seems like in Florida. I've caught bucks and then go there in a tournament and be big females. I've also seen it where catch big females in practice and gone in the tournament. So that's what's so hard about Florida. You almost gotta forget almost everything you know about bass fishing, and just think of Florida as its own little thing, because it really is. So, but as long as you know it, try not to let it burn you as much. I still get burnt by Florida all the time. It's one of my most difficult states to fish. But I've also had some of the most success I've ever had is in Florida. Harris Chain, Toho. A lot of good tournaments on those places. It's just, this will be my first ever tournament in Okeechobee. And I've never done good at St. John's, even though I feel like I understand it pretty good. So, we'll see. Dude, I got a giant. That's a big one. That's a Florida Okeechobee begging. Look at that one. Gosh, just outcast tackle stuck. Gosh, that felt good. A little over.
We'll post one of those.
That's a freaking fat female right there too. Yes. Uh-oh. Found me a big female lake fish. What'd you say?
I said 5 of them on Thursday.
Yeah, we'll figure that out tonight. God, that felt good. Just keep looking in the lake and I'll find them. I do not care. I will find them. It just went boom, and I swung and then it just pulled back. I was like, oh, that's new. There's resistance. All I know is I swung and it started running sideways. I was like, whew. Interesting. Well, just got that 5-pound bite off that little point on some broken up stuff. And Florida's very famous for there not just being one there. So I want to slow down, but I also want to still have something I can, like I got a fluorocarbon rod with like a real light 1/8 ounce 3/16 size weight on it, so I'm gonna go to a little bit heavier on this braid rod and have like another beaver. I got one beaver up there, but it's like a half, pretty heavy. And the thing is, that's great for certain areas where it's sand, rock bottom, like you got some areas that have, you know, really good shoal and rock. Those areas seem to be muddy. I haven't found one that's got them yet. So what I'm going to rig up is a little bit lighter power fishing, just same, you know, chomp on D's crawl hog, same exact little deal. I've been flipping, and I'm going to just go down a little bit on my size, and then I'm going to just kind of use it as just a searching bait in these areas where it seems like this clear water is for some reason, is these little bays. A lot of time you get in these little bays or places that have the clear water also have a lot of muck. So here we got a good sand bottom, but it's underneath about a 6 or 7 inch muck film. And when you're flipping, you don't want to be just digging down in the muck with a 1/2 ounce weight. You know, you really want to, you know, downsize to, I think I'm probably put a 3/8, which on a 50-pound braid on a big rod, actually that might be 65-pound braid. That's still pretty light. It's not like, it sounds heavier, you know, you're throwing fluorocarbon to dig down, but with braid it floats it up a little bit higher, so it's still light. And when you're over cattails and stuff, it's not going to be as heavy as it really seems. So that's what we're going to be doing is you know, using this little bit lighter weight, dobbing around these areas, and I know there's more fish here. That fish was white. That means she just freshly pulled in, real fat. I really liked the way that fish looked. You know, if I caught it was just a black fish, skinny, 5-pounder, it doesn't mean nothing to me. That's usually a resident fish. It kind of lives there. It doesn't show a movement or fish are pulling up. That fish was bleach white, really good looking color fish, fat, healthy, fresh, no hook holes. It looked like it just pulled out from the middle of the lake. And I don't know where these fish come from, but I'm assuming it's something, you know, further out. And that was a good sign. It's probably the first good sign I've seen. And catching a lot of bucks, but you know, those are always up there. I like using bucks as an area to find the area where the fish are going to be pulling up. Usually bucks around fry, so fry means there's females have been there. So I usually keep those as areas, and then if I catch a big white large female like that, that's usually where you want to hunker down, because they don't go by themselves. Those fish are not random. And you'll never see a large fish like that be random in Florida usually. I mean, I haven't. So you catch one of those fish, it means something. So I'm glad we got that bite. It makes me feel a little more confident what I'm doing. I know people are catching them other ways, but I want to catch them in the lake. And I want to catch I want to find a fresh group coming in and that I can capitalize on, you know, because that's how you win. So that's what we're gonna be doing this week, and that's the setup. You know, 3/8, 7/6, or I got a half, 3/8, and an eighth, and usually using a crawl hog or a wormzilla from Chomp on D's, and that's gonna be pretty much the deal this week. And then I'm also throwing a swim jig, and I'm putting a crawl hog on the back of it. So I don't know, pretty excited. This is gonna be a interesting tournament, a lot of wind changes, a lot of weather changes, but it's starting to get right now. So we should be getting some signs more and more. So get back after it. Water's cleared up so much in here from yesterday. I just caught a buck. Oh my gosh, I do not need to hit another fish that hard again. That is not bueno. I just ripped his whole entire face off. Like, behind, I went past his cheek all the way past his eyeball. That was in point cattails. See if there's a bed in there. Not really. Really. I got probably 2.5, 3 foot of visibility right now. Like, I can see the bottom everywhere. Right. Yeah, I can see the bottom. I could sight fish if I get around them. I started getting bites, caught a 5-pounder. I was like, yeah, I'm around them. I think this is it. And then I haven't seen them today. Just caught a buck. Flipping. Yep. Well, I like the signs of that. Not a bad one. Not a good one either, but isolated little patch of stuff out here in the middle of nowhere. Caught my 5-pounder right there, so definitely going to spend some time here in the tournament in this little area. Caught a 5-pounder. I've had a lot of bites on a swim jig around here too, so I like it. I was hoping it was a big female out here though. Yeah, when the fish weren't up. Another buck. Well, I mean, that's 2 flipping bites, but the thing is, they're not going to do anything. I could tell you I'm flipping this in the tournament. I'm flipping this stretch in the tournament. It's one big clump of reeds in the mouth of 2 bays. Gosh. Another buck. Gosh, I'm getting a lot of bites flipping right now. That fish thunked it so hard. No. Bed there. Firstly. What? Yeah, it's back reeling. Look at that. Ew, just broke it. Another bite. Another little buck. I don't know what that really tells us now. We've caught so many, but you know I need to get a new reel now. Just strip the gears out of it. Another buck. I don't know. So many bucks, I don't know what to really say about it now. I'm getting bit almost everywhere I go. This is like the worst watercolor ever. Alright guys, so final day of practice. Just got done. We're gonna get off the water a little bit early today. And I'm trying to get some rods rigged up, get a good night's rest, get a good game plan together. And practice was very non-impressive. I thought we got onto something a little bit, and then it seemed like the areas that I had were clear, that we were getting a bunch of bites in, a bunch of bucks. I don't know if the females are gonna pull in. If they don't, we're in trouble. But if they do, we'll be fine. But as of right now, it does not look like they're coming. You know, the lows are still in the 50s. They're not quite getting high enough. Like if the lows were mid-60s and the highs were getting in the 80s, I'd feel plenty confident right now, but really didn't see what we needed to see today. We're gonna get off the water and try to make the best game plan we can. I mean, we're going to do the best we can. We're going to put a jackpot jig in our hand and wing it around as much as possible. And basically that's what the game plan is we know where the right area is, I think. You know, it's the right side of the lake. It's had a lot of good watercolor over the week. The wind's been right for it. There's grass, there's good structure, good hard bottom. Tilapia's been bedding. I mean, the whole ecosystem is there. It's just the only thing that's missing is the big females, and they could be there, and I might be fishing over them. I don't know. We're definitely gonna, once we notice we're in the right area, we're gonna slow down the tournament and pick it apart. But I don't know. We did the best we could. It's not for lack of trying, but we'll see. You know, these tournaments, they change so fast, and from what I hear, it hasn't been exactly a great practice for hardly anybody. And do I know if that's true or not? No, you never really know. You know, Doc Talk says 12 pounds a day gets a check, and probably going to come in 14 pounds a day is going to be mediocre. So, but it is what it is. You know, we're going to hope that a big wave pulled in last night and see what happens. So we'll see. But overall, you know, decent practice, got a lot of bites, shook some fish off, you know, did the main thing that I came to do was find where the bucks are at, because that's usually how you go about Okeechobee. The fish pull up so fast that if you find the bucks, usually females are not far behind. So I think we'll be all right. We'll see. But tune into our next video. It's actually going to be the tournament for this, and it should be a good one. A lot of fun shallow water fishing. I mean, I can't even get the boat shallow enough to these fish, so that's pretty cool. I love fishing like that. I've caught them like that at Kissimmee. Toho is literally as shallow as you can get your boat. Trolling motor literally stirring up water, bottom of the boat dragging, and still casting shallower and catching them. So it should be entertaining. It should be a good one. But tune in. You know, we're going to have steady posts coming out. So looking forward to it. Get this thing started.